Hey BookTube, it's Peg. Happy winter solstice. Here from Colorado, it's sunny. It's 50 degrees. We really don't start to get our weather turning until January, February, but anyway, I hope you're doing well from where you are. I thought what would be better to celebrate winter solstice than a book haul. I've gotten, big surprise, many new books that either from my history book club. I had some credits, so I dropped some of my credits to get some of the newest history out there, and a few that I have purchased. So I know you guys are avidly waiting for the next haul. I think the last two videos I did were tags, so we're getting back to my fort, as it were. And we have Martine in the background in attendance.
Hello.
She says hello.
I'm trying to be good. So
She's trying to be good. She doesn't want to be.
No.
She'll chime in where she feels she's got an opinion, right?
That's never the issue. The issue is whether or not it should be shared.
That's right. That's right. As you can see in the background, I've got some of my Christmas cards up. You can see some wrapping paper in the background there as well. Even got some gifts under the tree. Got the air purifier running, of course. Oh, there we go. Got the dog sleeping in the bed right. Look at her.
Here's the driven
She's
snow.
just sleeping in the corner there. Okay.
She's always that good.
Yes, I know you probably hear the noise when I move the camera. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that is fabulous. Let's try not to get the floor in here as well. Oh well, we're just gonna leave it in. It's Christmas time.
No, it's Boomer's pause time, and he's just dragging everything in. He's like a reverse vacuum cleaner.
Oh yeah, we've got leaves all over the floor from our Schnauzer, who has very furry paws. So when he goes outside, we've got leaves everywhere because, well, we have a lot of leaves here. And he just tracks them into the house, so hopefully that didn't make it on camera. All right, let's get to the books, shall we? Let's start with four of my selections from History Book Club, which is the book club that I belong to. You can get credits put to your account every month, where it's like $17.49 per book for a brand new book, first edition. So it's actually it's a good deal. And so you can get $2 a month if you want, or just start, just accumulate the credits. And I had 4 credits just sitting there. So there were several books that were new, and I had to get. Let's start with ancient history, shall we? All right, first one I got. I love this guy's writing. I have all of his books, Paul Cartledge. He's written on Alexander the Great. He's written on the Spartans. And this is his brand new book on Thebes. Had to have it. Subtitled, The Forgotten City of Ancient Greece. There you go, Paul Cartledge. Very beautiful book. It's put out by Abrams Press. Let's see here. Among the extensive writing available about the history of ancient Greece, there is precious little about Thebes. Continuously inhabited for 5 millennia, and at one point the most powerful city in ancient Greece, Thebes has been overshadowed by its better-known rivals Athens and Sparta. So in Thebes, the forgotten city of ancient Greece, the acclaimed classical historian Paul Cartledge brings the city vividly to life and argues that Thebes is central to our understanding of the ancient Greeks' achievements, whether politically or culturally, and thus to our own culture and civilization. Let's see. Kind of goes on a little bit. I've got a lot of books to show you, so I won't be able to read all of the description, but nice color pictures in the inset. We've got statuary, artifacts, the kind of stuff I love. Kind of goes in with my love of archaeology. So So Thebes was my first selection from the History Book Club. Are we focusing? Is this thing focusing okay here? Can't focus. All right. Well, we're just gonna continue on. I gotta put my watch back on here. All right. Hang on, guys. Gotta get set. Okay. Second book. I think it's emblematic. These 4 selections cover 4 wildly different times and places, but they are indicative of my my omnivorous love of history, and my palette is just, it goes all over the place. So now we're moving from ancient Greece to Russia, and this is, oh, sorry about that, this is the Lenin plot, The Unknown Story of America's War Against Russia by Carr. This is by Pegasus Books, brand new book. So, I saw this and I was like, wait, what is this about? So let me read you the description of the Lenin plot. It remains the most audacious spy plot in American history. A bold and extremely dangerous operation to invade Russia, defeat the Red Army, and mount a coup in Moscow against Soviet dictator Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. After that, leaders in Washington, Paris, and London aim to install their own Allied-friendly dictator in Moscow as a means to get Russia back into the war effort against Germany. Because as you know, they left when the Bolsheviks took over. They left World War I, and so obviously the Allies were like, we need you and your manpower back in. Anyway, the Lenin plot had the entire approval of President Woodrow Wilson. As he ordered a military invasion of Russia, he gave the American ambassador, the U.S. Consul General in Moscow, and other State Department operatives a free hand to pursue their covert action against Lenin. The result was thousands of deaths, military and civilian, on both sides. A must-read for anyone seeking to understand the true beginning of the Cold War. The Lenin plot tells the shocking story of this untold episode in American history in fascinating and striking detail. So, I don't think I was really aware of that plot. So this is kind of going to be an area of Russian history and American-Russian relations that will be a fun read for me. It might come back to me as I'm reading it. I mean, I think I might have remembered reading somewhere that Woodrow Wilson might have signed on to something to help, get rid of Lenin, but I don't really recall it too much. So this will be a good way to, recover that history. Anyway, the Lenin plot by Carr. So that was my second choice. And then we go from ancient Greece to revolutionary Russia, all the way to the sands of Egypt. This looks like a really fun read, and for many different reasons, but this is a brand new book by Toby Wilkinson, A World Beneath the Sands, The Golden Age of Egyptology. Look at it, it's a beautiful cover. This is put out by Norton. Just a lovely book. It's a thrilling history of the West's scramble for the riches of ancient Egypt by one of the foremost Egyptologists of our time. From the decipherment of hieroglyphics in 1822 to the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb by Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon 100 years later, the uncovering of Egypt's ancient past took place in an atmosphere of grand adventure and international rivalry. In A World Beneath the Sands, acclaimed Egyptologist Toby Wilkinson chronicles the ruthless race between the British, French, Germans, and Americans to lay claim to Egypt's mysteries and treasures. He tells riveting stories of the men and women whose obsession with Egypt's ancient civilization helped to enrich and transform our understanding of the Nile Valley and its people, and left a lasting impression on Egypt too. Travelers and treasure hunters, ethnographers and archaeologists, whatever their motives, whatever their methods, a century of adventure and scholarship revealed a lost world, buried for centuries beneath the sands. So, this is just a fun read. And there's Napoleon. Obviously, he went to Egypt, invaded there. And here's the guy who, I think he was the one that deciphered, well, he deciphered the hieroglyphics. I can't remember if he did the Rosetta Stone too. Jean-Claude not, sorry, Jean-Francois Champollion. So wonderful, again, color inset pictures, portraiture. Ooh, I just love it, and I love Egyptology, history of it. I even enjoy reading the fiction of it, and I love Amelia Peabody mystery series, where it's just great historical fiction and detective, mystery stuff. But anyway, okay, so we covered a wide gamut there, and now we're taking it back over the pond, as it were, heading over into the Americas, and taking it back to the Old West, or I'd say the early days of the, not even the Old West. This is more of the Old Southeast, as it were. And you've seen this book before on some other channels, but this is Tecumseh and the Prophet, the Shawnee Brothers Who Defied a Nation by Peter Cozzens. And I grew up reading a lot of Peter Cozzens books. When I was in my teens, I was huge into Old West, and I read all the history I could get my hands on. And Peter Cozzens is a very well-respected historian of that era, but this time he's taken us back to like the late 18th century, early 19th. But it's about the two brothers. You got Tecumseh and his brother, who was named Tenskwatawa. And this is the first biography of the great Shawnee leader in more than 20 years. And the first to make clear that his misunderstood younger brother, Tenskwatawa, was an equal partner in the last great pan-Indian alliance against the United States. And this, of course, this book is just, first of all, it's beautiful. It's put out by Knopf. And I've got the nice deckle edge. I love a good deckle edge book. And I gotta smell, wait. Oh, it smells great. That always makes her laugh. Until the Americans killed Tecumseh in 1813, he and his brother Tenskwatawa were the co-architects of the broadest pan-Indian confederation in United States history. In previous accounts of Tecumseh's life, Tenskwatawa has been dismissed as a talentless charlatan and a drunk. But award-winning historian Peter Cozzens now shows us that while Tecumseh was a brilliant diplomat and war leader, admired by the same white Americans he opposed, it was Tenskwatawa, called the Shawnee Prophet, who created a vital doctrine of religious and cultural revitalization that unified the disparate tribes of the Old Northwest. Detailed research of Native American society and customs provides a window into a world often erased from history books, and reveals how both men came to power in different but no less important ways. Let's see here. Okay, so I think that kind of covers it. I don't need to read the rest of it, but yes, Peter Cozzens. It's got good stuff. Anyway, so this is quite the chunkster of a book, actually. It's about 425 pages. Nope, about 440 pages, and then you've got bibliography and notes. So, all right, so these were the 4 lovely books that I picked up with my 4 credits from the History Book Club. Let me know what you guys think of these, if you're eager to check any of them out. Before I move on to the other books, I should say, I've been thinking a lot about my reading schedule, or what I'm going to tackle in 2021, and I already have a couple of projects planned, which I'll be announcing on this channel soon.
We're getting a new puppy. Should I not have said that?
No, I should not have said that. We're not getting a puppy.
Yes, we are. If you say it
until
to enough people,
we get a house
and
a yard.
And yes,
we'll get a puppy. It's just not going to be right now.
No. I was just saying there was kind of an update there, wasn't there? But anyway, lights are green.
Lights are green. Green means go.
Mm-hmm.
Green means go. So as far as the projects go, as far as reading projects, I have an announcement coming in January for this channel for something going on February and March. Woo, stay tuned. I know I've got a couple buddy reads as well. And, looking for a house. So I don't know how I'm going to do all this. And moving. We'll figure it out. But yeah, the idea is I want to select, get a good roster of the books I'm going to try to conquer in 2021. So if you see anything here that is really ringing your bells and you would love for me to bump it up to the top of the TBR to provide some input on it, let me know. Okay, so then, oh yes, so I picked up this book used on Amazon, but it's like new. It is like new. Got it for, I don't even know, probably like $9. So I'm reading a book right now, and I'm I am trying desperately to try to finish a few of these books that I want to have finished by end of year so I can do a recap on this channel so I can start fresh in 2021. But it's about the Vichy regime in World War II in France, and it's focusing on how they were denaturalizing a lot of people with no good reason at all, and a lot of it was very discriminatory towards Jewish people. But anyway, I wanted to read more. I feel like I haven't read a lot about the Vichy regime and what happened in France after the Germans occupied it. So I was looking for a good one-volume history, and I added several to my cart, but this one got some good reviews and it looked really good. So I picked up When Paris Went Dark, The City of Light Under German Occupation, 1940 to 1944 by Ronald C. Rosbottom, by Little Brown. So this book came out, it's not a new book, it came out in 2014. So I kind of wanted to fill in that little, gray area in my World War II knowledge, especially, what happened in France after the Germans took over. I'll just read a quick description here. On June 14th, 1940, German tanks entered a silent and nearly deserted Paris. 8 days later, France accepted a humiliating defeat and foreign occupation. Subsequently, an eerie sense of normalcy settled over the City of Light. Many Parisians keenly adapted to the situation, even allying themselves with their Nazi overlords. When Paris Went Dark evokes with stunning precision the detail of daily life in a city under occupation and the brave people who fought against the darkness. How did Paris, draped in Nazi banners, bespattered with yellow stars, shrouded by a gray sense of surrender, itself change? And what did it mean for those trapped in the world's favorite city as walls continued to close in? Amid this darkening gloom of German ruthlessness, shortages, and curfews, a wary resistance arose. Parisians of all stripes, Jews, immigrants, adolescents, communists, rightist patriots, and cultural icons such as Colette, Simone de Beauvoir, Albert Camus, and Jean-Paul Sartre, as well as police officers, teachers, students, and store owners, rallied around a little-known French military officer named Charles de Gaulle. Drawing upon a staggering array of sources, diaries, letters, journalism, radio broadcasts, personal histories, illicit resistance pamphlets and publications, wartime archives, and his own interviews with those who lived through the occupation, Ronald Rosbottom has forged a groundbreaking book that will forever influence how we understand those dark years in the City of Light. So there you have it. I think this is a good place to start. And it's going to kind of look at the underground and the resistance and just the artists and people from all walks of life coming together to try to form some type of underground resistance. And I do want to get a good study on the Vichy government in particular. I want to know how it operated, because this book I'm reading now on denaturalization kind of talks about a little bit about Pétain and how they really were in league with the Germans. And Pétain had such a fall from glory, from the World War I days to heading up the Vichy government. But hey, if any of you guys out there, all my history buffs, my history readers, please let me know if you have a good recommendation. Well, all your recommendations are good, but a recommendation that pertains specifically to the Vichy government, and I would love it. That would help me out tremendously. I've kind of added a couple things to my list, but I'm not sure if they're the authoritative studies. But anyway, just a little call for help there. All right. Now, moving to, this is actually going to be, this book I picked up will be a companion to a book I intend on reading as quickly as possible, hopefully in January. And it goes back to also my interest in the Middle East, and specifically Saudi Arabia. So I have a book already. It's the most latest book or biography. I don't know if you can call it biography because he's still a young man. But Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. But this is a brand new book that the price dropped. It went down to $13 on Amazon hardcover, and I said, I'll take it. And I will read it in conjunction with my MBS book. But this is Blood and Oil. Mohammed bin Salman's Ruthless Quest for Global Power by Bradley Hope and Justin Scheck. It's even blurred by Seymour Hersh. A Shakespearean story of utter greed. I was going to pull the other book to show you, but if I can find it. If I can find it. Yeah, it's right over here, but oh God. One moment, please. Thank you.
Did Boomer fart? You're not recording. I'm just asking.
I'm recording.
Oh, you are.
I did. What happened? What did you just do?
Boomer let loose.
Oh, Boomer.
Yeah, man.
Boomer's adding a little potpourri to the air.
It's not potpourri.
It's not potpourri. But anyway, so I have this book on MBS right now. And this is a really stunning cover. This is by Tim Duggan Books. Put this one out. This came out last year. And this one this one just came out, actually. And so I figured these were going to be really, you know, two good reads, since I'm really kind of fascinated about just Saudi Arabia and what's happening currently. Let's see, I'll read a little description. 35-year-old Mohammed bin Salman's sudden rise stunned the world. Political and business leaders such as former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair and WME Chairman Ari Emanuel flew out to meet with the Crown Prince and came away convinced that his desire to reform the kingdom was sincere. He spoke passionately about bringing women into the workforce and toning down Saudi Arabia's restrictive Islamic law. He lifted the ban on women driving and explored investments in Silicon Valley. But MBS began to betray an erratic interior beneath the polish laid down by scores of consultants and public relations experts like McKinsey and Company. The allegations of his extreme brutality and excess began to slip out, including that he had ordered the assassination of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, while stamping out dissent by holding 300 people, including prominent members of the Saudi royal family, in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and elsewhere for months. He continued to exhibit his extreme wealth, buying a $70 million chateau in Europe and one of the world's most expensive yachts. It seemed that he did not understand nor care about how the outside world would react to his displays of autocratic muscle. What mattered was the flex. Blood and Oil is a gripping work of investigative journalism about one of the world's most decisive and dangerous new leaders. Hope and Scheck show how MBS's precipitous rise coincided with the fraying of the simple bargain that had been at the head of U.S.-Saudi relations for more than 80 years. Oil in exchange for military protection. Caught in his net are well-known U.S. bankers, Hollywood figures, and politicians, all eager to help the charming and crafty Crown Prince. The Middle East is already a volatile region. Add to the mix an ambitious prince with extraordinary powers, a hunger for lucre, a tight relationship with the White House through President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, and an apparent willingness to break anything and anyone that gets in the way of his vision. And the stakes of MBS's rise are bracing. If his bid fails, Saudi Arabia has the potential to become an unstable, failed state and a magnet for Islamic extremists. And if his bid to transform his country succeeds, even in part, it will have reverberations around the world. So, that description alone really intrigued me. There's some pictures in the... Got all the good stuff on the inside here. So I thought this would be a good companion to the more in-depth study on MBS, his place in the family and the country, and his rise to being the crown prince. And this one takes more like economic, also like just the blood and oil exchange, not the blood and oil exchange, but as it was saying, you know, oil in exchange for military protection and what that looks like. So I picked up Blood and Oil. I was happy to get it. Oh yeah, so where did I pick this up? Oh, this one. I was just browsing online one day, looking at some Russian stuff, as I do. And this paperback, it's an old Oxford paperback from Oxford University Press. This just popped up in my feed, and it was like $6, brand new. And I read the description, and I was like, this needs to be in my collection of Russian revolutionaries. Yeah, this is.
You said you're such a rebel.
I'm such a rebel.
It's true.
Yeah,
I did it. I did it, guys.
I did it. I said, you know what, $6, you betcha.
And then I hid it from my team for like 6 months. But I did it.
Woo! I was gonna say, if we ever break up, it's because I got one too many books.
Oh man, no, you know what? It won't. It'll be like no, it won't.
It won't be that.
It won't be. It'll be like I tripped over one too many books and broke my neck on the stairs or something.
She'll injure herself over my book stacks.
I'll stand on one too many rides, but in that case, I think we'll both break up with the dogs. That's what would happen. Screw you guys.
I know. God love her. I swear, you have a larger fan base out there than I do, honey.
Yeah.
She goes, well, yeah.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Anyway, here's the book. Now that you've been looking at the cover for the last 5 minutes. It's not a surprise. It's Bukharin and the Bolshevik Revolution, a political biography, 1938 by Stephen F. Cohen, with a new introduction by the author. So this is a meaty book. It is like, woo! About 500 pages with notes, bibliography. But, so it's about almost 400 pages of text, readable text. But, let's see, it is a huge introduction to the Oxford edition. Bukharin and the idea of an alternative to Stalinism. You know, I eat this stuff up, and the new introduction was actually written in 1979, so it's not really, it's kind of dated. But, yeah, so it's blurb on the back, so I can't really, I mean, I don't have a description in front of me like I had on the website, but, it is about, I can't remember what his first name was. Anyway, he was the guy that he said that there was another way, that they didn't have to go the hardcore Stalin way. I don't think Bukharin was a Trotskyite, but, you know, there were so many different factions in the beginning, and, little threads of communism and the theories and where you could take the party and all this kind of stuff. And Bukharin was one of those guys. So look at this nice, beautiful book. I don't know why it was on Amazon so cheap, but I am a rebel, so I did pick it up. You know it. Okay. Ew. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to pick this up from another pile that was going to be for another video I was going to make. Where I'm at. 29 minutes. Oh my gosh. Just to stick with the Russian theme, as you know, Stephen Kotkin is the writer of the ongoing trilogy of the Stalin biographies. I've got the first two volumes. He's working on the third and final one. But I came across this book. I think it was on bargain or bookoutlet.com. Are you grabbing me a cookie?
I will once you're done.
Okay. We got some really delicious Christmas cookies just to indulge ourselves. I like traditional Christmas cookies. I just love them. Anyway, so this came up on bookoutlet.com one time, and when I was shopping. It's a slim little volume that came out. I mean, it's like 150 pages. And it came out in 2009. This is interesting. Okay, and anyway, it's a modern library chronicles is what they call it right here. This is Uncivil Society. Let's see, 1989, and the implosion of the communist establishment. Stephen Kotkin with a contribution by Jan T. Gross. Neil Ferguson even blurbed it, brilliantly original. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very slim little thing, and it is put out by Modern Library. Oh, so it must be part of a series, because as you can see here, it's numbered. I don't know if it'll focus on it. Focus! There we go, 32! Woo, focus, okay. I'm going to have to check out that series, Modern Library Chronicles. That's interesting. Okay, so let me just read this real quick. Could most of what we think we know about the downfall of communism be mistaken? Could it be that the people did not bring down the malevolent regimes? Could all the books about popular protest, about the heroism of civil society, largely be fairy tales? In fact, communism was undone by the communist establishment, that is, by the uncivil society and its epochal mismanagement, incompetence, and ultimately demoralization in the face of the capitalist challenge. Here, two renowned scholars of East European and Soviet affairs employ three case studies, East Germany, Romania, and Poland, to illuminate what led communist regimes to surrender or to be swept away in political bank runs. Stephen Kotkin and Jan T. Gross pull back the curtain on the failures and fraud that cashiered the would-be alternative to the market and democracy, an outcome that created an opening to deeper European integration and globalization, and to global destabilization. So it's perfect. Anytime I see Stephen Kotkin's name, I'm like, yep, I'll pick that up. This is perfect. I'm reading a historical fiction novel on actually medieval Poland, and it's really good. I'm gonna talk about it in, I start my vacation on Wednesday, so I hope to make some videos later in the week, and I'm gonna do a historical fiction edition to show you some books I've recently read, and a pretty hefty historical fiction TBR. But one of the books I'm currently reading is set in Poland, and it's making me hungry to read just a really good, straight-up, one-volume history of Poland. So again, I'm going to put out the call to all my history buff and history fanatics out there that, you guys have such great recommendations. So I'm looking for books on Vichy regime, the Vichy government, recommendations, and then do you know of, I'm thinking of Zamoyski. Yeah, it's Adam Zamoyski. I know he's got a one-volume history of Poland, and I'm thinking of getting it, but if you know of any others that you recommend more highly, please let me know. But anyway, this is going to be kind of cool that Poland is used as one of the case studies, along with East Germany and Romania. So, end of Cold War, or at least the end of talking about how it came undone. And I do believe that it really came apart because of itself. It's just, the communist, the government, it really wasn't from any external force. Well, it might have been from competition with, United States, but mostly it was just, like it says in the book, it was incompetently run, and just couldn't keep up. In an era of, burgeoning globalization, as it were. Okay, so I showed you that one. I'm at 34 minutes. Oh. You know what? Who cares? I'm going to add a few more books. I really want to show you as much as possible so I can clean off this area right here because I have a couple of more. You know, I wanted to have a big bookish Christmas, and I really did splurge a bit, but they were all bargains, except for the book club stuff, which I paid $17.50 for each of those brand new hardcovers. But a lot of these I got for super cheap, or they were paperbacks on Amazon and I could afford them. So I got a lot of books, guys, and I can't wait to fill up our new home with them. And then I will definitely be making headway as I have a bigger mortgage payment, and then I will have to stop hauling books for the most part. But anyway, okay. What can I do? Let me at least finish with the book I intended to show. So this book was super cheap. It is the new softcover version, paperback version of a book by a guy that I just ordered another book. I think I have it in the foyer. I think it just arrived yesterday. The man's name is Alan Ryan. And the book I ordered by him is called On Marks. And so when I saw that he also had this book, and I think I've seen this book before, I thought about getting it in a 2-volume hardcover edition, but that now it's an all-in-one softcover edition, and it was only like $16 on Amazon. It's a beautiful, beautiful, hefty, let me do that, woo! Trade paperback, lies flat, it's beautiful. So this is his classic work, On Politics. A history of political thought from Herodotus to the present. And this is put out by Liverite. Yeah, look at that. And just a fantastic cover, by the way. But I read this, and I think I want to read this along with Peter Brown's Through the Eye of a Needle, which I have up there. And that's the history of the Christian world through, or the rise of money through. Well, this is on politics. Peter Brown is on something that's kind of threaded through about Christianity and the rise of money in the ancient world. What just happened to my color here? Oh my God. Anyway, all right. So I picked this up for a song, and yeah. Quick description. Finally, in a 1-volume paperback edition, On Politics is one of the most ambitious and hugely readable histories of political philosophy in nearly a century. Praised widely upon hardcover publication, and that's the one I have been looking at and kind of drooling over. It was a nice 2-volume hardcover set. One of them was like in a slipcase too, and I was like, ooh, but they're just a little too expensive used, and it's about the knowledge. It's not about the look. Anyway. Alan Ryan's masterpiece blends history and philosophy to examine 3,000 years of political thought. Drawing upon 3 decades of research, Ryan insightfully traces the origins of political philosophy from the ancient Greeks to the present, and he evokes the lives and minds of our greatest thinkers in a way that makes reading about them a remarkable experience. Whether writing about Plato or Augustine, Tocqueville or Jefferson, Ryan illuminates John Dewey's dictum that the role of philosophy is less to see truth than to enhance life. With this epic, quote-unquote epic, John Keane of Financial Times called it epic. With this epic tour de force, Ryan affirms his place as one of the most influential political philosophers of our time. Oh, yeah. Let's see, and if you're not aware of Alan Ryan, he's a renowned political theorist and historian of political thought. He was warden of New College and has held positions at Oxford and Princeton. He is the author of John Dewey and the High Tide of American Liberalism and Bertrand Russell, A Political Life, among other works. So, yeah. Very happy to have that. Why is the color changing? Hello? I can't stand it. Okay. That might be a sign to sign off. see if I can get my computer screen, give me a little more light. There you go, so I don't look so sickly. 40 minutes. Okay, you know what? Okay, I want to save these for another time, for another video called Books on a Theme. And I'll save this for these books I have here for the theme would be espionage. So, there's a teaser for you. Oh yeah. Let me show you this one last book. I had my eyes on this book for a while, and then it showed up on bookoutlet.com when I was browsing for $9.95, and really that's as cheap as you're going to get it for a bargain book of this type of stature. And this is put out by Osprey, and this is the Persian War in Herodotus and Other Ancient Voices by William Shepard. And that's put out by Osprey Publishing. So I got that at the bargain site as well. Well, you know I love my ancient history. And then we all know about the Persian War, so I don't need to go into that. So I want to tell you what's different about this book. Okay, all modern accounts of the war as a whole and of the best-known battles of Marathon, Thermopylae, and Salamis depend on the ancient sources, foremost among them Herodotus. Yet, although these modern narratives generally include numerous references to the ancient authors, they quote little directly from them. This is the first book to bring together Herodotus's, because it's doing the possessive, Herodotus's entire narrative and interweave it with other ancient voices alongside detailed commentary to present and clarify the original texts. The extracts from other ancient writers add value to Herodotus's narrative in various ways. Some offer fresh analysis, incredible extra detail. Some contradict him interestingly. Some provide background illumination, and some add drama and color. All are woven into a compelling narrative tapestry that brings this immense clash of arms vividly to life. So isn't that something? If you really want to delve into how the histories of the Persian War were written, this is a valuable volume to have, just for that nature of including even the ancient sources that Herodotus originally based his studies off of. Sorry, I'm trying to find like an example. It's written, I mean, it's not like a side-by-side commentary at all, you know, next to the text of Herodotus. It's just an overall history. But so I think he kind of gleans in, or you know, weaves in the different voices of history. And there's wonderful art, you know, artwork and pictures, color photographs. That's beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, I picked this up, and I was so happy to see that it made it to the bargain shops, as it were. So I think I'll stop there at 43 minutes. I hope I've given you enough to think about, to salivate over, some history for you guys to keep your eyes open, you know, out for if you're interested in any of these. I think I gave you guys some homework, a call to action. Looking for recommendations on the Vichy regime in France, World War II, and Poland. I want history of Poland from the beginning to the present. Just fascinated. I can't get enough about reading about other countries. In fact, I was just doing some window browsing of other books, which is what bookish people do, and I came across an illustrated history of Kazakhstan. Looked great, and I got it for like $7. So I ordered that. That should be coming. That's what I do. I'm just fascinated by other countries, their culture, their history, where they were, you know, how they began, where they're at now. The life of the mind is a wonderful thing. You know, it's just a wonderful gift, and I'm so grateful to God that He just made me endlessly curious and I love to learn, and I'll be learning until my last breath, and I'll be reading well, till my last breath, but up until that very moment, I mean, I'm going to be reading and just trying to learn about the wide world around us and around me. And anyway, I hope these books have sparked some interest among you guys. I hope to make some more videos over my break. It's been a busy month, as I'm sure it's been for many of you as well. But I do try to watch a little bit of BookTube every night, or at least every other day, where I can squeeze it in, and love seeing what you guys are reading. Again, just a little teaser. I've got a big reading announcement coming, probably in January. But I'm excited. I've got to make time for that. I've got a schedule. Definitely have a schedule. And anyway, what can you expect on this channel in the next 2 weeks? Okay. A couple more book hauls. At least one more, but probably a couple more. I'm going to cover some historical fiction, the things I have read, things that are on my TBR, things I'm currently reading. Another video, I'm going to try to wrap up I'm going to try to cover about 2 or 3 book review thoughts. You know, I don't know if each book will get their own video, but I'm going to try to combine at least a couple of them into one video, and I do a couple of book reviews. But we'll see. But it is my goal to finish at least 3 things that I really want to finish before the end of the year, because that was my goal. I wanted to have at least one of them done sooner, but that's coming soon. Death at the Edges of Empire, or Death on the Edges of Empire, Phoenix Rising, and Denaturalized. So a couple of them are very heavy-duty reading, so definitely not light reading, but so those are coming your way as well. So I'm trying to bring you a little variety, trying to mix it up with all the book hauls lately. I really want to show you things I have read and will be reading and all this kind of good stuff. And hopefully maybe a 2021 video. You know, I'm not going to say which books I'm going to read in 2021, because things change. Things are so fluid. And if Martine and I really are buying a house and moving next year, wow, I mean, that's going to upset the apple cart as far as my video delivery times and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be good because I'll have much more room and I can really display my books. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, guys, so anyway, that's it from here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I love hearing from you guys. I hope you're doing well. If I don't get a video up again before Christmas Day, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and again, Happy Winter Solstice, and hope you're all healthy and well. And we'll talk soon, BookTube. Bye.